Good evening, good evening. It is your candidate for governor of Florida. Always go to the website, look how you can support. My link tree also has the petition that you can print out, sign. You cannot mail this in, you can't email it in. You have to take it to your supervisor of elections office straight up. But this is my educational rant for the evening. So I go to the gym this evening and my gym always, like the guys always, the personnel there, they always have a question up on the board. And tonight it was, when did America receive its independence? And they know I'm running for, they know I'm a candidate for governor. So I was like, hey, when is it? So I said, well, what are we talking about? Who are we talking about? And they were like, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, going into education time. Now we all know 1776, we're here. But not all of us had the right to vote. Not everybody here was independent. I'm going to define independence as the right to have a say-so in this country. That's how I'm going to define independence. So I wanted that to be clear. Now, let's take it a step further. The first group of individuals that had the right to economically foreshape the United States of America is Caucasian white men. That's it. There you have it. You can go look it up. They are the first. Now you can go in the nuances of this, but we're going to look at the human race, male and female, and I know there are nuances as we break this down, whether we're talking about white men, black men, white women, black women. That's the nuances, but we're just looking at the human race, male and female. The first individuals here were men that had the right to vote. Now we go to the nuance, white males that had the right to vote. Now if you want to say that it was only landowners, that's okay, because they were just still white, Caucasian, rich males had the right to vote first. So everyone else, I cannot say that that was what you consider independence, even though the Declaration of Independence was signed 1776. Now, February 3rd, 1870. February 3rd, 1870. The 15th Amendment granted black men the right to vote. There you have it. Now, black men have the right to vote. February 3rd, 1870. There's our independence in this society. We're not talking about the nuances of still knowing that the idea back then of certain Caucasian people was that they did not like that. That's not the point. The point is, on paper, February 3rd, 1870, black men now have their independence. That's just males. That's all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I've brought this up before. This is interesting, but I'm gonna read it to you. The 19th Amendment in 1920 granted white women the right to vote. There you have it. White Caucasian males, which we know were the rich landowners, were first. That's their independence, 1776. Black males, February 3rd, 1870. White women, 1920. This is all on paper though, because you got to think, this is the Constitution. For black men, it was the 15th Amendment. For white women, it was the 19th Amendment. Now, who did we leave out? Black women. This is interesting. Now, here we go. Black women, along with many other black citizens, face significant barriers to voting even after the 15th Amendment and the 19th Amendment. Do you understand that? The 15th Amendment and the 19th Amendment still had a problem with black women. So all of us weren't there yet. All of us were not there yet. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that the right to vote was federally protected for all black citizens, including women, by outlawing discriminatory voting practices like poll taxes and literacy tests. If it were up to me, my Independence Day or Independence Year would have to be 1865, not 1776, because all of us were not independent during that time. Now let's be honest here. And this is just something you can all look up every date I said. White women. Who were you fighting for your independence? It wasn't Mexicans. It wasn't Muslims. It wasn't Latinos, Dominicans. It wasn't Asians. Who were you fighting for your independence? You were fighting rich Caucasian males for your independence, which you did not get until 1920 by way of the 19th Amendment. Now, when I brought this up to the gentleman at the gym, they said, man, I didn't even know all those dates. Now, we argue about the critical race theory, but that's why I said that when you look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, all of us didn't have the right to vote. All of us didn't have our independence. By my definition, until 1965. That's how I'm defining that. That's why me pushing for legislative authority by way of direct democracy for citizens is so important to me. Because these dates matter. I am 42 years old. I'm what they consider a millennial. I have never in my life written a date that has appeared in a book. Not one. I haven't created a word that has appeared in the definition. Everything that you go look up, I did not create. Every piece of data that I brought to you, I read and learned. I retained some of it, but I didn't create it. It was there before me. Without that information, I could not bring you this type of information. I could not give this to you. We are where we are today because we are willing to overlook the facts. Period, point blank. All of the bad things that are happening to us now is because we find too many ways to say everything is okay. I have lied before. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't hold you accountable. But we find that to be, well, you lied, so you need to show grace. I can show you grace, but that doesn't mean I have to accept it. Our elected officials should all be held to a very high moral standard. I don't care who they are. And not just our elected officials, the position should be held to a high moral standard. Look, what you did in your past is what you did in your past. But if you have committed a crime that I can't get past, then I'm just not supposed to get past it. I expect for you to tell me the truth. Well, you've lied before. I don't care about lying before. I expect for you to tell me the truth. You're going for this office. So when you come out and you tell me something, I need to be able to validate that what you're saying is truthful. I'm not asking. I know that you're not going to be perfect. But when you talk to me, you should give me perfection. There should be nothing that you did not take out the time to look up. Now, if you're going to give me your opinion, all ears, I can handle that. But if you're going to give me facts, I need to be able to verify and validate those. We find too many reasons to be okay with elected officials because we also identify with immorality. And because we identify with immorality, we're not holding the people who sign and say, I want to be somebody that represents you. If you're going to represent me, you're going to represent who I want to see as the better version of myself. I want to see the best version of you. When I come out and I talk to you, I am telling you these dates. I'm bringing you this data because I looked it up and you can also look it up. You can go look at every date I said. 1865 is when America should be saying that it has its independence, because as a whole, that's when all of us got it. You cannot keep saying that we were all American citizens and it took a 15th Amendment to the Constitution and a 19th Amendment to the Constitution and then a complete Civil Rights Act of 1865 to make that happen. That's when we all became able to control what's going on around us. That's when diversity, equity, and inclusion showed up and showed out. So I just wanted to give you guys this understanding that as you think about me for governor of Florida, understand that I recognize and pay attention to these things. And it is important for me to put this information out. We have all been, for everybody who needed an amendment to be looked at as an equal, we've all been fighting the same people. Every single one of us who have needed an amendment to be recognized on equal footing. And there's only 3 people here, three pieces of information that I brought up: black men, white women, black women. That's it. So there you have it. That's some history for you. You guys have a great evening.